Okay, let's do this. Here we are. This is the first episode of the Curious Journal. Wow. This has been something that has been going on in my head, I think, for the past 2 months. Actually, ever since I started this podcast, I wanted to have a moment to just take my coffee and to talk to you as if we were sitting somewhere in a cafe, having our coffee together, and just having a normal conversation. The previous couple of episodes that I recorded were talking about everything that's been going on in my life, but indirectly. I was talking about the methods and the way I was growing. So, the tools I was using to actually grow as a human being. But the missing puzzle, which I think will really help you resonate and maybe implement a part of that in your own life if you're doing a similar thing, is the real life experiences I have and the vision that I have for the things I'm doing, the lessons learned, the challenges, and really the breakthroughs that could actually spark something in your life. So the past few months have been quite literally insane for me because I feel like I've been doing all the things that, first of all, I never said I would do. And second of all the things that really scare me, like showing my face on Instagram, creating reels, talking, filming myself, are all things that scare me. But exactly because they scare me, I knew that I had to do it. Because you see, if you have a vision and if there's fear associated with that vision, that is the sign that it is for you, it's calling you. And instead of looking at fear like something that must be avoided, I had to learn how to live together with my fear, how to accept it, and how to actually still do the thing that I wanted to do. So, apart from starting the podcast and then trying out with video podcasts and then taking that part out, there have been so many other things that were happening in the background that I just didn't want to share with you via a story or a post because it didn't feel right. I always feel like when I talk, I'm able to convey the message better. So, really, this is the place where I want to share what has been happening in the background with you. So, actually, apart from the podcast and everything that's been going on here, this has only been a stepping stone for everything else that I have in my head. Like, when I think about the future and the next year, I know exactly what I want to do. And everything for me starts with the one simple word called curiosity. So, curiosity is really the forefront of everything I'm doing. I'm curious what would happen if I followed my heart and went for it. I'm curious what will happen when I go for it, how will I feel, and what is my next step. So, curiosity is really the spinning wheel for everything that's happening in my life currently. And the idea of this podcast is, of course, to grow my podcast, to have more listeners. But the real idea behind the podcast is actually a prequel, let's call it like that, to what I will be doing in autumn. You see, in autumn, I want to start my own community. I want to create a community of women who think alike. I want to work with women who have something inside of them, something that's calling them, or a little thing that's talking to them and telling them, you're not living your full authentic life. I want to work with a woman who has read all the books, listened to all the podcasts, who knows the theory, but needs that tiny push to go for what she wants. I really want to be surrounded by those kind of women and I want to build momentum together. I want to have a community of women where we can support each other and really, I would say, bring the best out in each other. That has been my dream since forever. You see, I was always the one with my group of friends that I would convince my friends to do something. Like I would have this crazy idea and I just had to see it realized. And I would be the one pushing my friends, let's go for it, let's go for it, let's go for it. And most of the times, people went for it. So many times I've convinced my friends to move to a different city, which they did because I had a vision. I felt something that was a part of me that was authentic. I was not talking from the logical part of myself. I was really talking from my heart. And that was the reason why I was able to bring so many people to come along with me. And I loved doing that. I loved hosting parties back in the days when I could. And I love bringing like 50 people into my flat and sharing the energy, sharing the vision, sharing the idea with them, bringing people into my world. That has been, I don't know, the one thing that I was always doing through different seasons of life. I love people and I love bringing them into my world. That is my passion, quite literally my passion. 1 year ago or 2 years ago, I don't even remember now, I wanted to open my own bar. And that was also the idea to bring people into my world. But I realized this is not the time to open my own bar. I do want to have a restaurant in the future, but this is not the time. I can bring people into my world in a different way. I can create a momentum in a different way. And ever since I started this podcast, I've been bringing women into my world who think alike. I've been on phone calls, brainstorming everything with various people from all over the world in the last 2 months. And they were incredible calls that I would never would have had I not been courageous enough to start this podcast in the first place. And now when I think about the community that I want to create as of autumn, it scares me. Of course it scares me. You know, you always have questions. What if nobody shows up? What if women are not interested? But throughout all the experiences I've had and the teachings and the tools, I know that that is my ego talking. That is an illusion because there will always be people who will resonate with you if you are talking from your heart, if you're speaking your truth. And I know why I'm here. I know why I am on this earth, what my mission is, and what I have inside of me that can help you on the other side. And this is a huge thing. But until then, until that moment comes, I've set myself up for, I would say, like 10 other things in the meantime that scare the strawberry out of me, literally. And one of the first things that will happen for me in the next 2 weeks, let's say, first thing is that I will be doing my first live interview on Instagram. And that is an incredible thing and an incredible story because actually next week I will be doing a live interview with a person that I've been following since forever, with the person who has inspired me in so many different ways and from whom I've learned so much. And actually, she was the one who invited me to do the interview last week, which for me was such a privilege because that woman is quite literally the woman, like the woman, a woman who believes in herself, who goes for what she wants. And I feel so privileged to be talking with those kind of women right now because the work I am doing connects me with those kind of women. And that is the first thing that's happening in my world as of next week, doing a live on Instagram. Okay, let's try it out. Why not? When she asked me, did I feel fear? Yes, I did. I was like, oh my God, live on Instagram, but let's go for it. It didn't even take me one moment to think about whether I will do it or not. I'm doing it because I have a vision. I know where I'm going. I know who I am and I know who I can be. Let's go. Let's do it. Second thing, mid-August, I'm going on a yacht with 6 other successful women. And it took me so much time because I kept saying that I'm gonna have a boat day with other women, and people around me are correcting me, being like, Lina, it's a yacht, not a boat. But my body was resisting the moment of calling it a yacht because that was not a part of my identity in my past life. I mean, I've never been on a yacht, I've never done that kind of experience. But now I'm throwing myself into experiences with other successful people so that my body learns how it is. so that my body knows what it feels like to talk to a woman who's literally living her dream life, who's authentic, and who has tons of money in her pocket. I want to know what it feels like. I want to know how this woman and six other women think. I want to feel all the emotions when I talk to them. I want to go through that fear and I want to put myself among those kind of women. Because what I was doing in the past is I was surrounded by a lot of successful people. But if you ask me, was I ever surrounded by successful, like highly successful people who are living their best authentic lives, who are doing something from their heart? I would say no. Because before I was living in a world where people were doing everything from logic, from fear, from, I need this because I need the money, or I need stability, or I come from a poor country, so living here gives me that space, freedom, stability, call it whatever. But I was never surrounded by people who worked on themselves so hard, who took that job so seriously that they've eliminated any type of fear in their body and who go for what they want. I mean, just talking about this gives me goosebumps. And I told myself when I got into this, I want to be that woman. So, what do I need to do to become that woman? I need to surround myself with similar women around me. And I want to bring more women into my world who have the same wish, who feel the same emotion in their bodies. I want to bring you along. If you feel this, I want to bring you along. Why? Because life is one and we need to live it fully. I never fully understood this sentence until this past year because I thought I was living my life, my authentic life. I thought I was good, I was happy. But this level, what I'm feeling now and what I could be feeling, is nowhere near to what I was feeling last year. I don't need my 8 hour of sleep anymore. I have energy. I wake up, I'm overflowing with energy because I'm living my truth. I'm who I am. And that is something incredible. Next point. There's so many questions that I ask myself constantly that truly help me stay on track when things get bumpy. I'm not saying that I have energy every day and that I'm living my vision every day. That's an illusion. There are, of course, days when my energy decreases, when self-doubt creeps in. But those are the days when I ask myself, why are you doing what you're doing? And actually, funnily enough, when I started all of this and my first children's book, and I started the company for the children's book, the name of the company is The Curious Crew. And that is not a coincidence because curiosity has always been my favorite word. Let's try it out. Let's see where this can take me. I don't judge something if I don't know what that is. I don't talk about topics I don't understand. I don't read the news or watch the news and discuss it as if, I know everything because I'm aware of how little I know. I was always aware of how little I know. When I was 15, when we think we know it all, I always knew I didn't know it all. I cannot discuss politics with certainty with people when I know that the things we read on the news are only 5% of information. They give us what they want us to know. And I think it's a waste of time to be discussing things like that. Instead, let me see what's inside my head. Let me be curious about myself, about my own brain. Let's figure out how humans work. Let's find out what these companies or politicians know about us that we don't know about ourselves. And I'm talking about politics because I was in that world ever since I was a child. I grew up in a diplomatic family. I was surrounded my entire life with, diplomats, lawyers, economists, where you could discuss politics, international relations, I don't know, for 10 days. And now when I look back to those days, I'm like, okay, that's all great, but what's inside? Let's discuss the surface. I'm curious what's beneath all of that. What's beneath the emotion of nationalism, patriotism? What's hiding there? Because for me, it was not normal that things are the way they are. I couldn't see them black or white. I was always in the gray zone. with tons of color inside. Anyway, now it all makes sense for me. I understand why I felt like a black goat in that kind of world before. Now I understand it. And the question I always ask myself is, why are you doing what you're doing? Simple word, curiosity. I'm curious to find out. I want to know more about myself. I want to know more about the people around me. And I want to bring more people into this because this is an incredible place to live in. Incredible mindset to have. It's such a powerful thing. Your life changes in a second. And I want more and more women to feel that. That is the most important question that I ask myself on days when things get bumpy. And what happens? I stay on track. No matter the external circumstances, I know my mission. Nothing can prevent me from going towards what I want. I know what I want and I'm going for it. Simple as that. Where am I headed? Apart from the community of women that I want to build. At the same time, I'm building a brand for children's education. On 8th of September, I will be having my first live event. I will be having my first live event where I will be talking in front of 200 people. I will repeat, live event where I'll be talking in front of 200 people. I mean, when I say it, it's unbelievable. I did have a sort of, let's say, public speaking experience before where I was a team lead and I had a team of 15 people. So I would talk in front of them in meetings. That was all good. But this is a completely different kind of experience. But you see, the funny part is, yes, I'm scared. Yes, it's out of my comfort zone. Also considering that there will be local news and media at that event. So everything that I will be talking will be live streamed on TV, on local TV. So that's another part, which is very important to note. But I feel better about that than I did when I had to talk in front of 15 people in my previous life. You see the paradox? Like, I feel like I'm going to ace this thing because I don't have to think about what I will say. Just like when I sat on this chair to record this episode, I did not for a second think, what am I going to talk about? I'm just talking about what's happening. I'm talking about my truth and things just come out of me. I could be probably talking about this for the next 10 hours. And it's that simple. So the idea behind all of this is that before I launch my community program in October, I am increasing my own level until then by exposing myself to different surroundings, to people, women I've never talked to before live, exposing myself on Instagram, exposing myself on live events where I'm giving a speech in front of 200 people. And what will happen? I am increasing my level of tolerance for fear. Because if these things are pushing me out of my comfort zone for the next 2 months, when I'm past that, it will not feel as scary. And the more I do it, the more it will become my new normal. So I am growing. And I know that in order to grow, it's not enough to do the same things. Like I've been doing this podcast for 3 months. I feel like a pro at it. It's not a challenge anymore for me. It's a thing that I do on a weekly basis and I do it quickly. But it doesn't challenge me anymore. I don't have that energy like I did in the beginning. I love doing it. It feels natural, but I need more. Give me more. Let's go to the next step. Because if I stay here and I keep doing the same thing, my energy will decrease. And what will happen? You will feel that my energy decreased and you won't be as interested. Let's be real. That's how things work. And that's why I am growing constantly as a human being, as a woman, as a mother. I want to keep growing. I want to be curious enough to keep growing. The last part I wanted to discuss with you today is Instagram. This is so interesting because so many people ask me, Nina, how does it feel to be on Instagram? Because before I didn't use it as much. Or when I did, I shared my daily moments. And I always tell them in the beginning, to be honest, it was leaving my comfort zone. But now I love it. I love using Instagram. And the reason why I love it is because I'm not concerned anymore by if somebody unfollows me, if my likes decreased, any of those things. I don't care. In the beginning, I did care, and it hurt me a lot when, people started unfollowing me. But when you put things in perspective, that's normal. People before followed me because they liked my family content. They liked me as the blonde Nina who had a different lifestyle. Now I am talking about different things. I'm talking to different people. Of course, some people that were following me for my old content are not going to follow me anymore. That's completely normal. And the reason why I know this is, again, because I'm exposing myself to women who walked down that road, who went through that experience, and who told me it's normal. It's not about you, it's normal. Chill. I'm learning from people who already had that experience. So when people ask me, how do you do it? Or how do you close your eyes on those things? And it's quite simple. The more you live your vision, the more you live your truth, the less you care about external validation. Because it's not that you feel it, you know how your life will look like in the future. Like, I know who I will be in the next few years. It's not a thing of if anymore. I know who I will be. And these are all phases. And the funny part that I didn't know about Instagram is that it's really a self reflection of me, what I'm posting, how I feel about myself. It can all be seen and felt on Instagram, which for me is another additional challenge to take care of myself behind the screen, to take care of my energy, to take care of my daily schedule, of what I'm eating, of how I'm sleeping, what I'm doing, what kind of conversations I'm having with my husband, with my kids. All of that can be felt through Instagram as well. So it's an additional motivation as well to be the best possible version of myself, to have nice nails, nice hair, to look good, because I want to look good no matter the external circumstances. As a woman, I want to look good. I don't want to have days where I feel bad about myself because I was lazy to, I don't know, comb my hair. I want to have nice hair. I want to have nice nails, good skin. I want to have all of those things. And being in this kind of world pushes you even faster towards becoming a woman who takes care of herself. And what happens? That increases your energy. It's all connected and it's incredible. Incredible, incredible. All right, this feels so nice that I told you everything that's been happening behind the scenes, because this is something that I wanted to share with you for a long time, but again, I didn't want to share it via Instagram. The Curious Journal will take place every month, once a month. And I'm so happy to bring you along on this journey so that we can grow together, that you can as well take what you need to take from my own experience, because that is priceless. Having somebody give you their experiences, their fear, their breakthroughs, the way they're dealing with it is such a priceless gift. And it's something that helped me when I learned from other women. And I truly hope my story can help you and push you a bit towards whatever it is that you're going for. Whatever it is, when you close your eyes, when you imagine your best life, you're either, I don't know, you're living on the beach or you're living on the mountains or you're surrounded by your family, you go back to your home country or whatever the craziest things you can imagine in your head. I want you to know that you can go for that life and you should go for that life. It's insane that we're not going for that lives that we're imagining in our heads. It's insane. Life is so short. We need to go for what we want. I want you to use my story, my energy, my emotion to really give yourself permission to go for it. And I'm so happy to learn from each other and to be here every month talking about real life experiences. I'll see you next Thursday, same place, same time. Kisses.